I started out with what I would say is zero confidence. My journey to reach confidence has, really evolved a lot. And I want to talk a little bit about that too, about how I reached it and what life is like before having it, what life is like after having it. How do we get it? That kind of thing. What do you think, Willow?
Yes, absolutely. I'm so excited that we're covering this topic today. I think it kind of dives into so many different areas for us as being HSPs. It's such an interesting area for us to explore and to, really kind of check in with ourselves how, what confidence really means for us on an individual level, what authentic confidence means for us and what's holding us back. Because, struggling with confidence, it can be such a sort of a private challenge in our own hearts, and it can be an ongoing struggle that we're having. And I mean, it just doesn't have to be that way. Once we really take ownership of ourselves and our gifts, then I think there is a very natural step into our own sense of confidence that can be life-changing, as I know it has been for you, and it certainly has been for me.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing if we didn't have it. And that's what so much of my mission for our community, for this, the sensitive community, is to be able to help us all rise up to the level that I know that we are capable of. And I don't want confidence to be that bridge that we can't cross. So being able to talk about it is going to be helpful. I like to think about, even thinking about when we don't have confidence, how might that show up a little bit? I see it as it's maybe if you're lacking confidence, you're not able to even know what your needs are or explore them or advocate for them. You might say yes when you want to say no. You might have trouble moving forward in whatever you're trying to move forward in. If it's like not perfect, you're stuck in a fear of failure. Maybe you're not doing something that you want to do because you're pleasing others. I know I certainly lived my life a long time like that, just focused on pleasing others and not even thinking about what I wanted or needed. And maybe you're not believing that you're worthy or good enough. And that was definitely one of my things too, early. And that impacts everything, because if we're walking into situations and we don't feel worthy or good enough, it's going to impact everything that we're capable of. And basically that comes down to not living a life that honors us and that we can live a life that aligns with our values. And even in work, maybe we're not going after the type of work that we want, or being able to grow a business or start a business that we want. Kind of having confidence when we don't have confidence, these are all areas that can be impacted.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's a really good indication that it's an area for a little bit of work or some support, exploration. And it's that feeling inside that, we know that we're capable of things, or perhaps there's that feeling is like, this area of my life just isn't working, whether it is in relationships, whether it's in work, whatever it may be, or just day-to-day life. If we're feeling that sense of like, there's something more, or I just don't feel like I'm really connecting with myself as deeply as I know that I could be, is a great indication that there's potentially some self-doubt in there, that if I do step up and I do share with myself and be honest with myself about what I really need in terms of my career, perhaps starting a business or a relationship, then I think that right there, that's an interesting place to begin. It's because we know in our hearts when we're not aligned and we're not feeling, connected with ourselves in terms of being who we want to be in the world. And it's very, very difficult to avoid that. And actually, that's quite a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful part of being a human being, is we're always getting feedback from ourselves and from nature and the world around us when we're not truly being ourselves and really doing what we know is possible for us. And I think that's the indication. It's like, okay, so let's think about, well, what is it that's stopping us from really asking for what we need from ourselves and perhaps from other people, and thinking, well, what's underneath that? What's behind that? Is it about about the fear of being judged? Is it about, do I trust myself in these situations, or whatever it may be? But I think you're absolutely right, Julie. I think that it's very, very interesting to start with, well, what are the indicators? And then to kind of look under and say, okay, well, what's perhaps underneath that?
Follow link to hear the full episode and others in the Sensitive and Neurodivergent podcast section of the Sensitive Empowerment site of Julie Bjelland, where you can also find her articles, books, courses, sensitive community, and other resources.